Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Joe Yoga Life Diaries. So, I'm going to set a bit of a scene for you first of all. This is our first episode of 2021. So, welcome to the new year. And I'm delighted to meet you if it's your first time here. And if you're an old friend of mine, then welcome back. It's been a lovely bit of a Christmas and New Year break, different for everybody, but still lovely all the same. And so back to me setting my scene. I'm still in bed. Okay, we are a few hours post finding out that the UK was going back into a lockdown and the schools have closed again for the second time in a year. And it's a little unsettling. And so you find me here this morning. It's a Tuesday morning, 20 past 11, and I'm still in bed. I'm working from my bed. Now, so I feel like I'm okay with all of this change and this stuff happening, but maybe the fact that I've chosen to work from my bed today maybe tells us a little bit more. Maybe I'm not feeling so great. We don't know, but we will find out in time. But also my house is pretty cold, so it's a lot warmer in my bedroom. So that's another reason I'm here. So so I'm sitting in bed. It's the first Tuesday of 2021 and schools are closed. We're dealing with this new variant of this virus that is just keeping us quite separate, quite apart from each other. And life is just a little uncertain for all of us. We are in this together, whether you are listening in Australia, Canada, the States, or here in the UK with me, then we are in this together. And the only way through it for us to be safe and happy is to treat every day and each other with kindness, because everybody is dealing with this in their own way. Some people go into panic, some people go into a kind of numbness. However anybody copes with it is okay, because there's no right or wrong way. How do we know? We've not been here before. So I'm sending lots of love with this podcast today, lots of support. Please do not feel alone. If you do feel alone, I should reword that. If you are feeling alone, then please do not suffer alone. Please do reach out. There are so many people that are struggling at the moment, and it can be as little as a message or a little DM in my inbox, or you can get my phone number. Please reach out. Do not suffer alone. We are in this together. Let's support each other and we'll get through it. And actually what I want to do is I open my I have The Secret, the daily teachings, and day 5, today's message was this: look for the gifts in everything, especially when you're facing what appears to be a negative situation. Everything that we attract causes us to grow, which means that ultimately everything is for our own good. Adjusting to a new path and a new direction will require new qualities and strengths, and these qualities are always exactly what we need to acquire in order to accomplish the great things ahead in our life. That couldn't be more perfect for today. For what we are perceiving as a negative situation may well boost us into something very, very new and exciting, just as last year did for me. So I'm sure this will too. So I want to move on to today's topic, which was about how we treat January. Now, a couple of years ago, I started to look at the month of January as a very different month to what I used to in the past. Now, I don't know about you, but January in the UK tends to be a little bit of a down month. It's a month of, it's after Christmas and New Year, and it's always like it's like new beginnings, new start, and then something happens that you either don't keep your resolutions, or it just seems like the longest month ever. I remember a hilarious meme last year was like, is it January the 74th today? Because it always feels like a cold, dark, dull month where we start with great excitement, which drops off within about the first week, and then it's like January, which is really unfair to those people who have birthdays in January, who, for some it's a really exciting month. And so I started to look at January very, very differently, and I use it as a month to rest and reset. And let me talk you through why and how it changed my outlook on life, because it set up my whole year to begin a very different way, and it gave me permission to choose how I live and how I choose to be. So let me start. November and December are packed full of stuff, right from what seemed, Halloween, then goes into bonfire night in the UK or elsewhere in the world. It might go into Thanksgiving. And, November becomes quite packed. And you are preparing for then what becomes Christmas, of course. So November always seems to be quite a busy month with celebrations and things going on. Then you come into December, which we know is, it's packed full of celebrations all around the globe, and it becomes very, very busy. And then once we get to that kind of New Year's Eve fireworks, it then starts to drop down a little bit. Now, when I lived in Australia, it was wonderful because we then started building up to Australia Day at the end of January. So you have that momentum to keep you going and get you through January. But in the UK, we don't have that. And I don't know how it is in other countries, but January can feel a little bit somber. So after you've had all that excitement of November, December, January, your energy, that energy build that comes up to New Year, then just slumps, then just plummets. And you're left with a feeling of kind of, of feeling low, feeling a little fatigued. And you have these New Year's resolutions that we set, and you might wake up on the 1st of January and even the 2nd and 3rd with all really excitement. And then the resolutions might drop off. And that makes you feel even lower. So this is why January needs to be a time for taking things slow. Remember, I always say we are part of nature, and look at the natural world to give you inspiration of how to be dealing with things. So in January is when you very slowly start to see regrowth. You start to see buds appearing. Snowdrops might begin to be cracking through the soil, and crocuses might start, but it happens slowly. This is what I want to stress to you. Yes, January is a perfect time to reset and to start new things, but we need to do this slowly and gently, not 100 miles an hour, because burnout will happen really quickly. So this is a time to rest and to reset yourself. So yes, start those new things, but start them off slowly and give yourself time and non-judgment in those. It's a perfect time for you to use rest as a priority. So in starting new things, if you set yourself New Year's resolutions and you set yourself something that you want to achieve this year, great, but don't cram it all into January. January is your time to sit, look at the big picture and think, what do I want to achieve this year? What do I want to do in the next few months? Or what do I want to achieve by the end of January? And looking at it and putting it into your diary or putting it into your schedule or making little changes that are right for you. But keep it slow and keep it simple, because that's the way that you'll make these changes last. And that is the way that you will make 2021 one of your finest years. And it will be the start of this new year and this new way of living. January is also a time while you're resting, listen really carefully to your consciousness, listen to divine downloads that might come through to you while you meditate or while you yoga or while you rest. Just listen and take note of what comes through. January, the world is quite still in January, on a natural base level. The ground, yes, is starting to regrow, and that energy is starting to pick up. So there's a beautiful stillness just as this happens, just as it begins to, just as the world is like this conception of starting to grow again. So listen, lots of listening time, and notice what comes up. Journal about it, meditate on it, and just see those changes that happen. When I started to do this, when I stopped looking at January as a right, new start, let's go, new things, and then fail. When I started to look at January as actually, this is the time where I just stop. I let all that energy of November, December die down, and I restart again. I take my time, I get lots of rest because it is a dark month, there's not a lot of daylight, and January has now become one of my favourite months because it sets me up, it's my foundation for the rest of the year, and it allows me to get excited about what's going to be happening later in the year. And I'm going to let that excitement happen. And I know there's a lot of people out there who go, yeah, but we don't know what's going to happen. Right, we don't know what's going to happen, but I can still have that excitement. I can still look forward to what's going to be happening this year. And so those are my tips for dealing with January. Use it as a time to rest, to reflect if necessary, and just to reset. Take it slow and get lots of restful time and listen carefully. In the Shala, which is my membership, my online membership, in December we were doing a lot of reflection, and our theme for this month is reset, refresh and reflect. And it's really a beautiful time to do that, to get yourself ready. So if you want more support in doing things like this, then please go to my website, www.realjoeyoga.com, and go to the Shala online membership and just have a look and see what we have there. You get a masterclass, you get live yoga with me, we get meditations, we connect as well. We have a little informal Q&A or tea and chats, as I like to call it, every month, so that you are supported by spiritually minded women just as yourself to make these changes and make 2021 the absolute best month you can. It's only £18 a month, or it works out at £15 a month if you pay for the whole year. So it's really, really cheap, and it is so worthwhile. It's a beautiful, supportive community, and I'm honoured to be a part of it. So that's my message for you today. Use January to reset and reflect. And if you want more guidance with that, then please come over and join the Joe Yoga Shala, where there are many women waiting to welcome you in. And I can't wait to see you on the mat. Lots of love. Happy days. Stay happy. Reach out if you need to. Thank you so much for listening today. If anything resonated or you feel inspired to, please share, as that is how we spread the healing. To learn more about me, my teachings, or any of the Joe Yoga programs, go to www.joeyogauk.co.uk, and I'll see you next time. Bye!